Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Gias Maraga Wildan, and today I'm going to presentation about applied linguistics. The topic is analyzing linguistic bias in news and language policy for indigenous language. And first is the definition. Applied linguistics is a field of study that investigate real-world language-related issues and seeks to find practical solution. It bridges the gap between theoretical linguistics and practical application, using linguistic knowledge to address problems in areas like education, communication, and technology. Essentially, it's about using what we know about language make a difference in the world. And there's more detailed explanation about analyzing linguistic bias in news and language policy for indigenous languages. Focus on real-world problems. Applied linguistics is not just about studying language in a theoretical sense, interdisciplinary approach. It often draws on other fields like psychology, sociology, education, and communication to understand the complexities of language use and its impact on various contexts. Practical application. Applied linguistics aims to find solutions to language-related problems and improve language-related practices. And from the example of application, the example is a language teaching. Sorry about that. Developing effective methods for teaching languages, both first and second languages. And next example is translation and interpretation. Improving the quality and accuracy of translation and interpretation. Next, lexicography. Creating dictionaries and other language resources. Forensic linguistics. Analyzing language in legal contexts, such as identifying authorship or detecting deception. Next, speech therapy. Assisting individuals with language and communication disorders. Language policy and planning. Developing language policies for education, government, and other institutions. Next, communication research. Investigating how language is used in various communication contexts, such as social media or business communication. And the problem one is detecting bias in news reporting, linguistic features of bias. Mr. Thompson is a linguist who wants to identify bias in news article. To do this, he should focus on three key linguistic features: lexical choices, voice construction, and framing or presupposition. And what is lexical choice? News article use specific words to evoke emotion or show an attitude. And for the example, a protester may be described as a freedom fighter by one news outlet and a terrorist by another. This word carries strong connotation and influence how the audience feels about the subject. Lexical bias often reveals the writer's ideology or the political stance of the publication. Active versus passive voice. The structure of a passive voice. The protester was shot. Sentences also hide or reveal responsibility. For example, active voice. The police shot the protester. From the passive voice, the protesters were shot. In the passive form, the agent is hidden, which can reduce blame or avoid naming who is responsible. This manipulation affects how readers perceive truth and accountability. Framing and presupposition. Framing refers to how a story is presented. For instance, a headline like, "Despite corruption charge, the minister attends meeting," already presupposes guilt. Even if the person is innocent, the readers are subtly led to think negatively. This is a powerful tool that shapes public perception without explicitly. And for the conclusion from problem 1, lexical choices, passive construction, and framing are crucial in conveying bias. Applied linguistics help us to understand how language subtly shapes reality and public opinion. And problem 2, language policy and indigenous language. Imagine I work for a government. There's many ethnic groups and indigenous languages. Our challenge is to promote diversity while ensuring unity. And how can education help? Okay, there are 3 effective strategies. Strategy number 1 is bilingual education. Use both the national and indigenous languages in early schooling. Teaching students in their mother tongue first helps them understand better, while learning the national language ensures integration. This approach supports development and cultural pride. And next, curriculum development. Create school materials in indigenous languages. Offer subjects like traditional stories, proverbs, or grammar. This formalizes local languages and gives them the same value as national ones. Schools become places where languages are celebrated and erased. Conclusion for problem 2. Education is the key, preserving indigenous languages. With strong policy, local languages can survive and thrive while still supporting national unity. Teacher training and community engagement. Train teachers from local areas who speak the native language fluently. Also give incentives to encourage them to teach indigenous languages. Involve local elders to support oral tradition and intergenerational transmission. Thank you. That's all from my material. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.